everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. Today is day 2 of my book going where we're going to be doing all things Bewitched, if you will, so let's get going. My first book is Higher Magic by Courtney Floyd. First generation graduate student Dorothy Bartleby has one last chance to pass the Magic Progress qualifying exam after freezing with anxiety during her first attempt. If she fails to demonstrate that magic and classical literature changed the world, she will be kicked out of the university. And now her advisor insists that she reframe her entire dissertation using Dingamancy. While mages have found a way to combine computers and magic, Bartleby is fated to never make it work. This time is no exception. Her revised working goes horribly wrong, creating a talking skull named Anne that narrates Bartleby's inner thoughts, even the most embarrassing ones. She is a heroine in a Jane Austen novel. Out of her depths, she recruits James, an very attractive mage candidate, to help her stop Anne glitches in time for her exam. Instead, Anne leads them to a shocking and dangerous discovery. Magic students who seek disability accommodations are disappearing, quite literally. When the administration fails to act, Bartleby must learn to trust her own knowledge and skills. She risks losing both the missing students and her future as a mage permanently. My next book is A Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan. Stubborn, plain-spoken, and from an unimpressive family, Lydia Polk never expected to be accepted into the Royal Academy of Witches. Now with Hitler's army rampaging across Europe, the witches of Britain have joined the war effort and Lydia is key to the cause. She must use her magic to track the magical relics before Hitler and his psychopaths can. Then a Nazi witch infiltrates the academy with heartbreaking consequences, leaving the college shaken, exposed, and divided. The elder British witches have no interest in further loss of common life in the service of a government that has forced them into hiding for generations. But with the discovery of the Grimrodian Bellum, an ancient book that leaves a trail of death and destruction wherever it goes, Lydia knows her mission has never been more urgent. Alone and woefully outnumbered, Lydia makes her way to the heart of the occupied France, where she finds allies in Rebecca Gagné, a fierce French resistance fighter with a secret, and Henry Boudreaux, a handsome Italian-American art historian with a little magic of his own. Together they traverse the country, stalked by the natural and supernatural alike, in search of the grimoire. But as Lydia soon discovers, finding the book is only half the battle. The Grimrodian Bellum itself has a dark agenda. Lydia must subdue it before the witches of the Third Reich can use it, but she will have to survive the book herself first. My next one is The Bewitched by Silvia Miranda Garcia. She is the author of The Hacienda. Back then, when I was a young woman, there were still witches. That was how Nana Alba always began the stories she told her great-granddaughter Minerva. The stories that have stayed with Minerva all her life. Perhaps that's why Minerva has become a graduate student focused on the history of horror literature and is researching the life of Beatrice Tremblay, an obscure author of macabre tales. In the course of assembling her thesis, Minerva uncovers information that reveals that Tremblay's most famous novel, The Vanishing, was inspired by a true story. Decades earlier, during the Great Depression, Tremblay attended the same university where Minerva is now studying, and became obsessed with her beautiful and otherworldly roommate, who then disappeared under mysterious circumstances. As Minerva descends even deeper into Tremblay's manuscript, she begins to sense that the malign force that stalked Tremblay and the missing girl might still walk the halls of the campus. These disturbing events also echoed the stories Nana Alba told about her girlhood in 1900s Mexico, where she had a terrifying encounter with a witch. Minerva suspects that the same shadow that darkened the lives of her great-grandmother and Beatrice Tremblay is now threatening her own in 1990s Massachusetts. An academic career can be a punishing pursuit, but might turn out outright deadly when witchcraft is involved. My next book is Witch Killer by Ashley Latimer. Gretel had no choice. Her brother Hansel was in danger and she had to kill the witch. 5 months later, she is still ripped from her dreams and awoken by the noise of her sword tearing into the witch's flesh. Her waking hours are no better. Hansel has grown more and more like the monstrous father day by the day. The society she now inhabits has trapped her in an endless cycle of balls with nobles who sneer at her family's new money. And worst of all, her greedy father has issued his newest ploy to increase his wealth. Gretel must marry, and soon. Devastated at the prospect of a lifetime with an old, decrepit husband, she flees the ball and runs right into Prince Wilfrid. When Gretel divulges the reality of her situation, Wilfrid comes up with a solution. He is also being pressured to find a suitable future queen. They can both delay the inevitable by faking an engagement. Gretel agrees, and what starts as a ruse quickly deepens as she finds herself falling for the handsome prince. But in the quiet of night, still trapped in her castle with the memories, Gretel fears the walls closing in and ventures into the neighboring woods. There she meets Katharina, a beautiful witch who introduces her to the witch community. But these women aren't evil, they're healers, and Gretel is drawn to them. My next book is, I actually kind of already talked about this. This is A Spell to Wake the Dead by Nicole L'Esperance. Two teen girls must uncover the dark occult secrets lurking in the Cape Cod town to solve a series of murders and save themselves from the same fate. So, yeah, I already talked about this. I'm not going to delve into it too much. And my next one is, I also already talked about this, and this is The Haunting of Hecate Cavendish by Paula Brackenston. So this is a new magic-infused series about Hecate Cavendish, an eccentric and feisty young woman who can see ghosts. So yeah, perfect for Halloween, you know? And I think I also touched base on this book as well. If not, I might just, say this brief summary. It's The Autumn of the Grimoire by J.R. Rampa. Some witches cast spells on the Slay Kings. A mysterious grimoire, a marriage full of dark secrets and history sculpted by a quartet of ancient sister witches. For 300 years, Sister Autumn has incited wars, burnt villages, killed kings, and released plagues at the bidding of the grimoire. Meanwhile, her Sister Winter, Sister Spring, and Sister Summer have brought forth only peace. When an order from the Grimoire sends Agatha to the kingdom of Merville, she already anticipates the worst. Unless she wants to face the wrath of the goddess, Agatha must keep her head down and do as she commanded. But when the Grimoire orders her to marry a pompous prince and play the role of a peasant accepted by vicious aristocrats, she finds herself at the center of a war between the classes and an age-old prophecy. Why does everything have to involve marriages? That is so weird. I don't know. There should be something else, right? But anyways, my next book is Breath of Magic by Teresa Medeiros. Precocious, Puritan, and aspiring witch Ariane Whitemore spends her lonely nights dreaming of magic and excitement. She gets more excitement than she bargains for when she crash lands straight out of a witch hunt into the 20th century in the arms of Tristan Lennox, a exclusive billionaire. Ariane blows through tradition's climate-controlled existence like a breath of magic, only to discover that the spell he weaves around her heart is more compelling than any enchantment. Not much of a plot, but okay. And my next book is The Water Witch by Jessica Thorne. Present-day France. Archaeologist Adrienne Walcon has always loved Britain's steep cliffs, crashing waves and endless shifting skies, but she lives devastated when her fiancé Simone drowns on the dig, searching underwater for the lost city of Rhys. It's Y-S. I don't know how to pronounce that. Local legend says it was destroyed centuries ago, and the Water Witch, once the Princess of East, and still drowns the men of this region in revenge. Escaping the old myths and stories, grieving Ariane is walking on the headless ruined cliffs on a stormy night when she approaches by a mysterious vast figure. As she removes the mask, Ariane's heart almost stops beating. She sees a glimpse of Simone's face before he disappears, laughing into the waves below. Only Raphael, who's a local whose family have lived here for centuries, has answers. He says the Water Witch has doomed Simone's soul to become her servant forever, wandering the rugged shoreline. She will soon claim Raphael too. The only way to save them both is to find the lost city where the secret to breaking the curse is hidden. Oh, that actually sounds really good. My last book is Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May. On Quell Island, people who whisper real magic lurks just below the surface. Neither real magic nor false magic interests Annie Mason, not after it stole her future. She's only on the island to sell her late father's estate and hopefully reconnect with the long-absent best friend Beatrice, who fled the dreary lives for a more glamorous one. Yet Crow Island is burning with temptation, and the biggest one may be her enigmatic new neighbor. Mysterious and alluring, Emily double clocks as a figure shadowed by rumors of witchcraft, and when Eddie witnesses a confrontation between Bee and Emmeline at one of the others' extravagant parties, she is drawn into a glittering haunted world, a world where the boundaries of wickedness are tested and the cost of illicit magic might be death. Okay, so those are the Bewitched books that you can read for Halloween or for October, fall, whatever your heart desires. But yeah, let me know what some of the Bewitched books you guys like to read, and please like, comment, subscribe so you'll be notified every time I post, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!